Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, you know what it is? It is Thursday night. That means it's Star Bros. Yeah, another episode of Star Bros. Pew 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 pew. I don't know why we do that every episode, but every episode we do that. Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, welcome to another episode of Star Bros. This is an Average Fellas podcast episode. I'm your host, Zodizach, coming to you live all the way from Riverside, California. Today is Thursday night, September 24th. I almost forgot the date right now. September 24th. You guys know what it is. It's Star Bros. Tonight we're going over episode 7 of The Mandalorian. Luke, what's going on, man? How's your week going?
Doing good. Coming to you live from Santa Ana, California. Doing good.
Sweet, man. So,
another day in the quarantine life.
Luke and I are trying something out. We're trying something out with his Instagram, so why don't you guys go take a look at it? Doing some fitness motivation stuff over there, huh?
Yeah, definitely. If you guys have a chance, go look up Beastmodesquats. I'm trying to promote that more, motivate people to go into fitness, motivate people to better themselves in their lives, everyday life, everyday average Joe, just like you and me.
Exactly.
Just trying to better themselves.
Yeah, so you need some fitness motivation, go check out Beastmodesquats on Instagram, guys, for that. Hey, so anyways, cool show for you guys tonight. We have a special guest this evening. Special guest isn't just anybody. He's a cousin of mine, some more family on the show, and you know that's how we like to keep it here. We like to keep it in the family on the Average Fellas podcast. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce and bring my cousin Charles onto the podcast. What's going on, Chuck?
What's going on, Star Bros? How you all doing?
We're doing pretty good, man. We're recording another episode, bro. I mean, like, does life get any better than this?
This is true. I do have to add that I'm surprised that I know you guys have lightsabers, and I'm surprised you guys haven't put those on during your intro with all your sound effects that you're doing already.
Yeah, I know, right? I thought about that.
Now you thought about it, so you're welcome. You're welcome.
Exactly, yeah.
Just made me think of that.
Wait, turn it on. Do it for the bros.
Wait. I think I need battery.
Oh no! His lightsaber has no batteries.
I need batteries.
Epic fail.
Not with you, man.
The force isn't with me. My battery's out on my lightsaber, but I do have a lightsaber.
Right now, I could feel Baby Yoda just shedding a tear. So sad.
But I do have the Luke Skywalker Rey.
Nice.
Lightsaber from Disneyland. Yes, it is from the actual factory.
Nice.
But it is nice. Yes.
Did you get a custom lightsaber when you went to Galaxy Edge?
Oh, yes, I did.
Which set did you do?
We did, was it the Peace, not Power and Protect, Peace and Justice? Whichever one's the gold and silver, one.
Is that the Old Republic sort of looking one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That I've seen a lot of kids doing that. I took the Power in what was it? Power and Pride or something like that.
Power and Defense.
Power and Defense. I think it was. I just went straight dark side on mine. So when I went, I think it's called Savvy's Workshop. Is that what it's called?
Savvy's Workshop.
Yeah. So when I went to go to my lightsaber there, I actually got I got the dark side one. It looks like a cross between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker's hilts. It looks like the half of them. It looks like the bottom of one and the top of the other, and they just put it together. And I actually really like it. So maybe one of these days I'll post a picture of it.
I was originally going to get Obi-Wan's with a ballpoint at the end.
Yeah.
With the, but
with the cubes.
It looks cool. It looks cool on film, but there they had it. It was so small. Like the hilt was small, like it was tiny. And so the Luke Skywalker's hilt was more thicker. It felt better in my hand. So I was like, okay. It looked better too.
Better in your hand.
It was a thicker,
thicker
because Obi-Wan has those little small dainty hands. You can't.
Yeah.
It's really small.
Every time I play Fortnite, I repeat
bigger hilt.
all of Obi-Wan Kenobi's like wisdom. Every time I play Fortnite, I'm just like, take the high ground, take the high ground, take the high ground. Anyways,
me off.
This is a Star Wars show, so you guys know that we do talk about Mandalorian because that's what we're following right now. Every Thursday, we watch an episode of The Mandalorian. We do a bit of a review. We talk about it. We see what's cool, any callbacks, and any theories that we can come up with. We just throw it out there. We talk about it. So we did go over episode 7. Luke, why don't you take it away for us?
The Reckoning, 40-minute long episode, The Mandalorian. It's cool. I like it a lot. Definitely, it starts out with Mando in space on his Razor Crest. If you all don't know that, again, the Razor Crest is his ship.
Wait, hold on.
That's the name of
I've
it.
asked this to like the past 4 guests, so I got to ask it to you, Chuck. If you could pick a Star Wars spaceship, or if there was any ship that you could pick besides, I mean, Luke and I have already put the Millennium Falcon in number 1, numero uno, no matter what. I'm not sure if you share that sentiment, but if you could pick your top 2 spacecraft in Star Wars.
Okay, well, I'll say Luke's X-wing would probably be up there because it looks dope and it seems fast. And Baby Yoda's little baby carriage that Quill makes for him.
That's so awesome.
Yes.
That's so tight. Yes.
That's funny.
I think what did I pick? Slave 1. I think Boba's Slave 1.
That's one of these.
It is a dope ship.
It's so awesome. I love it. It's so awesome. What was yours again, Zach?
Oh, obviously the Falcon, the B-wing. I like the B-wing a lot.
The B-wing.
I do like.
B-wing,
I like Slave 1. I like the Razor Crest. I think those are 2 cool ships. I actually really like the Naboo Starfighter. That's got some swag to it, you know.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
That's tight.
Anyways, yeah. So let's talk about this episode. Episode 7.
Yeah. Basically, Mando's in space and he's in his Razor Crest, and he receives a transmission from Grief Carnigan, who makes him a deal to return the child. Actually, so basically, he's like he has to head back to Navarro to make an exchange, pretty much. And so it's like dun dun dun, what's gonna happen? You know.
Dun dun dun. What was some of your?
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, the beginning of that episode, Chuck. What was your expectation? Like, did you think that, like, because we get that message, right? Like, hey, you're still alive and I'm still alive, you know, like in that beginning of that episode.
Mando.
Did that give you like any kind of indication what you thought the episode was going to be about before you actually saw it?
Well, obviously you're like thinking, well, one, you can't trust him because, you know, you can't, you know, he's a bounty hunter. He sticks to the code of, for the most part, he who has the most money makes up all the codes. That's what he does. That's so you know that it's a trap, and you know that's what that's saying. So you're wondering, you know, what is Mando going to do to get out of the situation? But at the same time, I'm thinking you can kind of trust him. He trained Rocky, you know, so it's going to be fine.
Yes.
I know, right? That's so true.
Yes, that's amazing.
That is funny. Yeah. So my first thought that I had when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, this was interesting because like the last like 3 episodes didn't really have anything to do with the entire like overarching story, right? There were like little side quests that were going on. I think. Well, maybe not the last episode.
The 2 before it, though.
Yeah, there were. I mean, obviously there. Exactly. Yeah, the 2 before that. And so for me, picking up on this episode is there was some juice. There were like some some good tidbits in this episode.
You had some meat in this episode.
Yeah, there was some meat in this episode. Exactly. I think episode 4 was like that, and then this episode is kind of like that too. There's some meat in this episode because, like you said, we see what's his name,
Grief Carnigan.
Yeah, we see him. And it brings us back. Okay, he is a shady dude. You know, like something in the story is going to come. You know, obviously he's been the dude that's been trying to make the deals, trying to get Baby Yoda to the Empire, right? So, I thought the same thing. I was just kind of like, wow, what is Mando going to do to get out of this one? And it was cool because it kind of bring us back to the story that we started with. You know, anyways, I know we've seen more familiar faces in this episode, Luke.
Yes,
can you talk about
yes,
some of the
yes.
characters, the reoccurring characters that you see in this episode?
OMG. He actually goes back. Mando heads back to Arvala 7 in this. And so you see so many people. You get to see IG-11.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
You get to see IG-11 in here. Definitely go back to, obviously, Baby
Quill.
Yoda. Come on. Who doesn't like Baby Yoda?
Right, because there was an episode where Baby Yoda wasn't even in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Was that last episode? Was Baby Yoda in the
That
last
was, I think,
Baby Yoda was in there.
he's in every episode.
Choked out the other dude.
That's right.
He was on the ship running amok, doing the Home Alone thing.
That's
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right.
He's he's just everywhere. Yeah.
Who's doing the Home Alone?
Basically, your character's basically in here. Quill. My bad. Cooley.
Yeah, Quill.
Quill. You see Kara, Mando, IG-11, and Baby Yoda. And they're all in here. So you do get to see a full cast in this, which is super wild and super cool because you get to see all of them interact together.
Yeah, what was your thoughts about that, Chuck? Like, would you get to see those familiar faces come back at the beginning of this episode? You see Mando sort of kind of like go back to his trusted, people.
It did dawn on me too until Luke said that you see all these characters come together. I was just like, oh wow, yeah, they do. And it just hit me. I've seen the episode like 3 times, and so I'm just like, didn't even dawn on me. Well, okay. Look, Cara Dune, that's her name, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible with names. I love the franchise of Star Wars, but I'm terrible with names. So don't get mad at me, all you nerdy fans out there that are just like, how dare you call yourself a fan and you don't know Gina Carano's name? Well, I know a real name, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But no, so it is pretty cool. I like, the whole aspect with IG-11 and Mando, and even the whole thing with Quill, just, directing that, look, droids aren't bad. They're a reflection of their creator, which is just very thought-provoking in the sense where you could think, well, that makes sense because C-3PO is like, he's on both sides at certain times of the franchise.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, well, I'm going to be over here. Okay, now I'm over here. I will do whatever I can. Whatever my master tells me to do, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And it seems like R2 just kind of always seemed to have like a spirit of himself where he's just like, I do what I want. This is right. It's so weird. It's so weird. But I just want to touch more on Gina Carano, not so much touch her physically, but more in the sense of just like, she's awesome, and that's like probably one of my Hollywood crushes right now. She's probably overtaking Sandra Bullock. I just want to throw that out there. Don't get mad at me.
That's tight.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see her again. That's the Drop Trooper. If you guys don't remember who that is, when Mando ended up at Arvala 7, he ran into a Drop Trooper. And that's who Cara Dune is. And so we actually pick up this episode. He goes back to Arvala 7, and she's actually basically like bar fighting for money. You know what I'm saying? And I really like what she says. She calls them mud suckers or something like that.
Mud suckers.
Oh yeah, mud muckers.
Yeah,
I can't remember, something like that. And I was like, oh man, that's pretty funny. And then we see Quill.
I thought it was. I'm sorry. I just want to make a comment that I thought it was funny because it was just like, oh, they're playing tug of war.
Oh yeah. That was it was a cool scene though, because you did get to see like the same species as Darth Maul, and I don't know who that character is specifically, but we also got to see we also got to see the same species of alien or whatever they are, creature, in the new season 2 trailer. So that I kind of noticed that, and I was like, wait a second, hold on. Could that guy be a reoccurring? Because they looked very similar. They're probably just the same alien race. That's probably all it is. Man, here I am being racist about movie franchise. They just all look the same.
Look at them horn heads over there.
Oh man. Anyways, but like it was funny though, because after that, he goes and he ends up rendezvousing or going back to Tatooine. I think that's right. That's where Quill's from, right? Quill's from Tatooine.
Yes,
is that right?
Quill's from Tatooine.
And it was cool because one of the things I liked about Quill is that he seems to be like that wise like mage. And that this part of the episode I really enjoyed because he said some things like you said were thought provoking, right? He talked about the robot, and he said like they're an image or a reflection of who created them, kind of thing, right? But then he also talked about how like he was like born like sold into like slavery, indentured servantry, right?
Yeah.
And then he had to use his hands, his skills. He's like, I know what it's like to use my skills to pay for my freedom. And then he says, I worked 3 of your human lives.
Lifetimes, which is like
oh
wow.
my God.
You know, it's like that hits the heart right there. It hits, man.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this guy like endured. You know, he went through some stuff. You know, and you know he's when Cooley he had found IG-11, he
ended up repairing him, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, wow, I can't believe like because at the end of episode what was episode 1 IG-11 is episode 2 or episode 1?
It's episode 1.
It's episode 1 at the end of it, right? That Quill finds him. He actually goes back to where he goes back and he finds him, and that's when he does all the reprogramming, right? And we all know that Mando is a little skeptical of robots, right?
He's like, I don't really trust droids.
Which is
he doesn't have
really cool way. I thought it was a cool way of like the writers like sort of incorporating that theme of like I guess social justice maybe. You know, like
he doesn't want no droids working on his ship. He just wants people working on it. You know.
Yeah, Quill's a cool character. I'll agree that what he has to say is touching, and then like it did like kill me because I was just like, you know, there has to be a story out there of someone back in the day where they were just like, you know, who was a slave, where their family types were slaves, and they worked and they paid off their freedom.
Yeah,
and I was just thinking about that, and
that's
heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
At the same time, you have to give credit to Nick Nolte, who did the voice for Quill, because he did such an amazing job, and he's like, you know, he's seasoned. At the same time, he's a complete whack job. And for him to like pull himself together to do something like this, I believe is incredible. He did, and it shows you that when he wants to, he could do it. And with his voice, he just sold every bit of that.
Hey, so I wanted to ask you a few questions. I know you've so you're from the Bay Area, born and raised Bay Area. You've been around a lot of the cons, like the Comic-Con sort of like like festival sort of like things around there. What are some of like the maybe Star Wars names that you've met? It could be even like Rebels voice actors. I know you've gone to a lot of those like events where you get to do meet and greets and stuff. So I was wondering maybe you may have crossed paths with somebody.
Well, seen, not so much cross paths. So here in San Jose, every well, it used to be until COVID happened, but every like quarter we would have a local toy show, and then you would get like, you know, meet Stormtrooper A from Scene 5, where you could see his hand in the background. You know, so you get like those kinds of like guys, but you know, once in a while you get somebody really cool that would roll through, like Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca.
That's right.
Yeah,
Wow.
he would pop in, just see him, you say hi. You know, I didn't get his autograph. My buddy, Metalhead Mike, he got his autograph, and
Shout
you know,
That's
shook
so
his hand
awesome.
and all that stuff. Yeah, so
That's
you
so
know,
cool.
very tall, very intimidating man, but very cool. You know, you just see him and you see him interact with people, and just really kind, you know, eyes, which is just really interesting. And then the guy who, which one? He wore like Darth Vader's. I think it was like Darth Vader stunt guy for Revenge of the Sith. Like he wore the costume too, or something like that. I don't know, but I forget the other guy who's like currently, like when you see Darth Vader in costume. It's this dude. So he's always like rolling through. But that's about it. Like nobody like, we haven't got like anybody like and like no Mark Hamill.
or something
We
like
were
that,
supposed to. I was supposed to meet. Oh, why am I forgetting Princess Leia?
Oh my gosh,
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher. I was supposed to meet Carrie Fisher because she was going to come through Silicon Valley Comic Con, and like 2 months before that, she passed away, and it was just so heartbreaking.
Gosh, that is
Yeah.
But they had her dog there.
Oh my gosh, that's right, because her dog did inherit everything, right? Her dog inherited all her money, her royalties or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's a funny fact.
Royalties and riches.
My
go on.
My funny fact about Star Wars, I guess like the closest like connection I got to like the franchise, I guess, is my sister-in-law at one point, she put together like a Modesto tour of like maybe, not maybe, but known places George Lucas, and stuff. So it's kind of cool. That's like my closest like connection to Star Wars right now. But, it's like, maybe one day I'll meet somebody,
Dude, my buddy, he got to go to Lucas Ranch.
Oh my
that's so awesome. Yeah.
He was delivering a package with his cousin, and he was there. And not George Lucas, but he got into the ranch and got to see some things. I was just like, that son of a gun.
That's what's up.
That's cool. That's so awesome.
So, in this episode 7, we see when Mando gets, pretty much gets his crew together, right? He pretty much, it's Cara Dune, it's Quill, it's the IG-11 who's not going to do anything in this episode. Spoiler alert, sorry. And then it's Mando and Baby Yoda, right? And once again, we hear that he gets a message and he has to go meet Grief Kargan, right? That's how he ends up back. We end up seeing Grief Kargan again because of this, this message that Mando receives. Crazy thing in this episode, I forget what's the name of the planet that they go back to. I forgot the name of the planet.
Arvala 7.
No, that's not it. Where that base is at, where they go to meet Grief Kargan.
Oh no, that is. I'm thinking.
Second planet to the
left. Navarro.
Oh yeah, it's Navarro. Planet Navarro. Duh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's a pretty cool scene. They land and they're greeted, and they have to, I guess, walk into town pretty much. They can't. The drop trooper Cara Dune makes a comment. She says that when she was in the Rebels, and they made their approach on the base on Navarro, a lot of the jumpers died because it was like I guess they were really dug in. The bases were like the Imperial bases were inside the planet, like dug out into the planet. So this planetscape is really rocky, very volcanic looking. It looks like a mild version of I don't know, where's
Mustafar.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a very like the light version of it, Anyways, so we pick up where Mando and his crew they meet. They end up meeting Grief Kargan there at Navarro. Okay, like why don't you pick it up from there for us?
They meet Grief Kargan and 3 bounty hunters are actually with him. I don't know their names exactly. There's 3 bounty hunters that were with him. The town is actually run by the Empire. So you get this thing of, Grief wants to see Baby Yoda. He's kind of like, I want to know if you're lying or not, what's going on. But you see Mando is too attached to Baby Yoda, where he's just like, he's there, he's there, and it's just like, okay, what's going on here? They come up with a plan basically, but while they're talking about a plan, there's like this wing creature. It's kind of hit nighttime, kind of,
Right.
And so like there's this a winged creature swoops in and attacks their little convoy, I would say. You know?
Well, leading up to that though, I thought there was a comment that they made, and they talked about Cara Dune's tattoo on her shoulder, right? She has a tattoo on her arm, and he talks about like, hey, if these Empire, if these stormtroopers see that, they're gonna be offended, right? They're pretty much gonna be like, they're gonna kill you because you're an ex drop trooper.
Drop trooper.
Yeah, and so but what it does is it kind of puts in your mind again exactly what time you're in, right? Because you learn about the battles that she fought, right? So she used to be in the rebellion. She used to be part of the rebels, right? And she used to fight these guys, and so it's a time period after that. And I thought that was like I really like how they've been doing that the entire season, establishing what timeline,
timeline.
I wonder,
it helps out a lot.
Yeah,
it does help out.
Chuck, I wonder if you have any comments on that, like if you've kind of noticed that sort of like just so that that telling of like where you are politically in the show and stuff.
Yeah, so it's like you could say it's whispers of the Kylo Ren's empire, the start, even though like by that time he's not even born, but it's still just like there. They've lost, they're scattered, so the empire is just on hiatus, kind of digging their hands and claws into the outskirts of the galaxy, if you will. Which is really cool. But then you also see that the New Republic ain't really like there yet, because they're still trying to get their crap figured out to have, I don't want to say peace, but democracy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, but yeah, you could totally see, you could feel it. I mean, you get the idea. I mean, it's like the best way I could kind of explain it is like the Vietnam War, right? So at that time, you would get those people that would see somebody that was of Vietnamese or Asian descent, and they would like kind of give them a bad time because of that reason.
Yeah.
And so if you have someone like Cara Dune who who's flaunting her colors, this is what I have, this says I'm proud of this to a degree, but that's only going to cause trouble. So yeah, cover your stuff up. Unfortunately, back then it's not like you could just cover up somebody's face or anything like that, but it's just the tension's there, I guess, is what I'm trying to get to. Is that when you got that tension there, and it's just like, oh man, this person fighting for that team and this person's fighting for that team, but the war's over, but I'm still going to whip your rear end, kind of a
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I really liked that about Mandalorian, especially this show in general. Like, it's really done that well, and I really appreciate that, because it just adds more to the depth of like the story. If I don't know if you like look at also you look at the connections to like I guess like sort of like German sort of like war, sort of like, I don't want to say memorabilia, I don't know how you say it, like German like war styled, like if you look at like obviously stormtroopers, you look at, I mean, they're based off of Nazi soldiers, right?
Nazi soldiers,
and
it's based,
when you see like the like some of the robes that the Empire wears, some of the like the insignias that they have, it kind of gives off that vibe. And I thought that the newer Star Wars, like the newer stuff that Disney's put out, has done that really well, and sort of painting that sort of like vibe on the Empire and giving them that style. And it just, I don't know, it just adds more to it just adds more to Star Wars universe to me. It gives it more depth and like more character, that I can like see the story deeper. As a kid, I wasn't looking at the politics. I was looking at the lightsabers and the blasters,
Yeah.
But now
that stuff was awesome.
The story's just evolved to this deeper like level of just, they talk about like government changes. They talk about like the trade deals in the galaxy and stuff. And then you think about episode 1, 2, and 3. That was all about like the Senate and Coruscant.
That was politics. That was
politics.
Such politics right there. Democracy and republic.
Yeah, it was just a really good, I don't know, I thought they did a really good job like continuing that theme, or even like displaying that a little bit more, weaving that more into the story, which has just been, I don't know, fun for me. But Luke, you talked about those wing characters. I don't know what they're called. I don't know.
I don't know exactly what they're called either. Yeah.
But that's a pretty cool. That was probably one of my favorite scenes though, because this is the in this scene we got to we actually seen something that was like really cool with Baby Yoda.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you want to talk about that, Chuck. If you don't see what I'm talking about, the wing characters come down. They attack the
bounty hunters.
The bounty hunters, right? And
Kill one of them.
Exactly, and Grief ends up getting his arm like ripped open by one of these weird wing creatures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't recall if they're like poisonous. I know it was really bad.
Yeah.
And he's basically like, well, it's bad. I'm gonna die. I could see the light. I'm coming to it. So he's like that, and Cara Dune's like, hey, don't be so dramatic. We're gonna help you. He's like, no. That's it. That's it. You could have this. You could have this. He starts giving things away. And then, out of nowhere, Baby Yoda's like, look, dude, you're not going to die yet. I'm going to heal you because that's what I do.
Yes.
Which is weird, because, yes, it's Baby Yoda. At the same time, this character's been around for 50 years already. But it's just the way they age. It's all years, I guess. But in reverse. And so he goes ahead and does the Force Heal, which is just funny. At the time, I'm going to backtrack a little bit in that episode.
Yeah.
Just to go a little bit further with Baby Yoda and how he works. There's a scene where they're on the ship, Cara Dune, I think IG-11 and Quill, they're going to see Quill, and no, they're there on the ship, and they're arm wrestling. And to Baby Yoda, he thinks, because she's winning, so he thinks that, she's going to hurt Mando. I got to protect Mando. So he starts force choking her. And it's like, and she's like, she's over there gasping for air, and Mando's like, hey, calm down. And anyway, it just tells you, shows you like how this character thinks and works, and, how much, he's protective of people who protect him.
Yeah.
And who he's very fond of, Mando. And so because, even though Apollo Creed was like, hey, I'm going to sell you to this guy over here in the beginning, it's the fact that, he's going to do something that's good. It's beyond the call of duty. Does he need to do it? No. Should he die? He's going to sell out his buddy, allegedly. So, but he did it, and because of that, that changes, Grief. What's his name again?
Yeah, Grief Karga.
Yeah.
Grief
Yeah,
Karga?
yeah,
I just call him.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's Karga.
Cardigan sweater.
Yeah.
So, they go ahead and they, kind of, has a change of heart because, this little thing that he was going to sell and, just get money off of, saved his life, and
I like how
kind of whispering that there's
that.
that there's still like something there, something that's more than just what's going on in this war, that there is a force that's in the air.
Yeah.
Which is cool because like I love this has also been another thing about Mando, right? He's always been he's been sort of a denier of it himself, of the Force, right? And the people like I guess it means that people that have witnessed Force wielders are few and far between that are still alive right now, right? Because there's there was only maybe 2 or 3 alive the last 10 years that, or maybe maybe 5 alive in the last 10 years of like whatever we're at in the timeline. So it was very few and far between that people had seen or even like seen this kind of force wielding. Minox, that's who attacked them while they were on their way.
Yes.
Cara Dune, Quill,
Minox,
Mandalorian, Mando, they were all on their way, and they get attacked by Minox in the middle of the night. That's what we were talking about, those creatures, those winged creatures are Minox. Duh.
Yeah.
Minox.
No, Minox.
So from here, actually, what we end up picking up on ends up being a strange turn of events, strange turn of events after Baby Yoda does his little, he does his miracle. You know,
Force.
This
He
is
does a
force
little
heal.
miracle.
I love every time he uses the force to just a little bit more than he needs to. Like he just like falls a little bit. Like
He knocks out. He's just too much for him. He's just like, that was a big exercise for me. I'm just gonna knock out because I'm hella tired.
yeah.
It's
I don't know if you've ever
weird
noticed
because
this.
he's like,
I don't know if you've
go
ever
on.
noticed it, but Baby Yoda, if you have the subtitles on, it'll keep saying that he coos. It's like Baby Yoda coos, Baby Yoda. The child coos, the child coos. I'm just like, oh my god, he coos.
I like that when he goes to heal Grief. You know, it's funny because Grief's like, get him away. He's gonna eat me.
oh yeah,
He's like, he's gonna eat me. It's like
Insert
so
Baby
funny. I
Yoda.
just start busting up laughing. And he just like touches him. He's like, I'm gonna heal you, stupid.
Actually, I was gonna make a meme, right? I was gonna make a meme where it was just like it was gonna say something like every other Christian denomination would be Cara Dune, like using like actual like disinfectant and bandages to like try to like solve the problem, and then it's like Pentecostals, and then Baby Yoda comes around with his hand. That's what I was gonna do. I thought it would be funny, but
Oh my goodness.
I don't want to offend people. So
too late, man. Too late. I've offended so many during this podcast already, including the Minox.
Including the Minox.
Anyways,
goodness.
so a strange turn of events happens after the Minox attack them. Why don't you pick it up from there, Luke?
Basically, they're all amazed, basically, because Minox attack them. Baby Yoda heals Grief, and basically they all stop. They all stop or whatever, and Grief ends up like killing the other two bounty hunters that are with him. Like this is after the effects of everything. Like they're there, the bounty hunters are there, but Grief ends up killing them because they're all walking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Grief tells them the plan. But Cara and Mando need to work with Grief, basically. They need a...
Well, yeah, so Grief basically confesses. He's just pretty much like, hey, look,
like,
after last night, basically Grief's a believer now, right? He basically converts.
Yeah.
Basically, he has a conversion.
He had a change of heart overnight, pretty much.
Overnight. He had a
overnight became a believer.
Dude,
Overnight.
Baby Yoda touched him, and he received his miracle, and he was like, I gotta spread the Baby Yoda gospel.
I gotta spread the Baby Yoda gospel. That's
He
what happened.
touched me.
He touched me.
Oh my goodness, don't even go there, Luke. I already know where you're going right now.
Dude, Grief pulled like a Han Solo moment. He's like, the Jedi, they're real.
All of it, kid.
All of it is real.
So,
Grief
yes,
is officially Saul of Tarsus.
yeah, exactly.
Yes,
For real.
yes.
He's like, wait, you don't know Baby Yoda. I tried to sell Baby Yoda, okay? Oh my god,
Oh my
so
goodness.
so good. Hey, this is the Average Fellas Podcast, guys. Thank you for listening. Just want to do a little shout out, a little plug out there to remind you guys where you're at. All right, where you're at. Anyways, so we find out Grief basically exposes the actual plan. So all these bounty hunters are there to turn in the Baby Yoda, basically. And they were gonna basically spring like a trap on him. Like, you're not gonna win. You're outnumbered. We were just gonna take you over there. We're gonna blast you guys, take Baby Yoda, take our money, and run. Basically, is what he says. And there's a strange thing where it happens where, Grief turns around real fast. He pulls out both his blasters. He shoots the other two bounty hunters. They drop dead. He confesses, right? He's converted. He's now about the ways of Baby Yoda. And we pick up from there. They're entering this base on Navarro, and we see two stormtroopers. And I liked this scene right here because the scene where they approach the base on Navarro, the stormtroopers are on their speed. They're like just hanging out on their speeders, right? Just chilling, hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, it's no biggie. This is the kind of person that they're paid security guards, just hanging out, And they come up to the post, and Grief's turning them in, and he's basically like, hey, I'll give you 20 basically 20 credits for Mando's helmet, and Grief makes a comment. He's like, "You kidding me? That's going on my wall.
Going on my wall.
That's
going on my wall."
And then Mando's like, he's kind of like, "Yo, what? My wall? What do you mean? No."
Just go with it. Just go with it.
Yeah,
just go with it. Just go with it.
Luke, why don't you pick it up from there for us, and just kind of give us your expectation when they show up. What did you think was going to happen when they entered the city? Like, were you expecting anything, or like, because we're expecting there to be a sort of a setup to play out, right?
Well, yeah, because I mean, obviously, they tell Cooley Quill.
Yeah.
They give him. They tell him, head back to the ship. Oh
yeah, they give him Baby Yoda, basically.
They give Baby Yoda. Right before that scene, they give Quill Baby Yoda, and he rides back to the ship on his blurp, and Grief brings Mando to the client. The client wants to see Baby Mando. He's like, Mando but like at that moment, like you see like Mando kind of like slips out of his cuffs, and like Mando gets his blaster out, and you see like this cool like, I don't know, every time I look at Mando, it just reminds me of a Western, John Wayne, I don't know why.
No, of course it has that. It just has that feel.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Star Wars parts. I guess a lot of characters in Star Wars give me that Western sort of feel. But no, it's like, so we missed a huge point here, but you talked about his cuffs. So Mando's actually, they're pretending that Cara Dune's character, or Cara Dune, I'm sorry, Cara Dune is
Cara Dune.
And Grief are
turning in Mando pretty much.
Yeah, pretending to turn to like surrender him over to the new Empire, I guess, right? Whatever the beginnings of whoever.
The client. They take him basically to the client.
Exactly, you're right.
That's his name. So the client talks to. Or go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask Chuck, like, what was your thoughts on that part, on that scene where they come in and they start to turn in. They turn in. Obviously, they don't turn in Baby Yoda, but you pick it up from there on that part where they go. They meet him in the cantina. They meet the client in the cantina from there.
I was just thinking, man, why they got to go back to like this creepy uncle's den again and do this whole thing? Because that's what he reminds me of, like a creepy uncle, just like just one of those guys, just like don't let the kids with them too long, because he just gives off that.
Where's my package?
Baby Yoda? Where's my package? I want to see the baby. And it's just like, dude, calm down. What are you gonna do? Eat it? What the heck, man? But yeah, the thoughts are, okay, when's this? When is this gonna explode? When's the tension gonna break? When's that moment gonna happen where it's just like, all right, we're screwed, because they're thinking, as Mr. Cardigan, he was like, there's only like three troopers, that are with the client, so it's gonna be fine. More troopers come through, and it's just like, oh, damn, so it's just like we're outnumbered. What are we gonna do? What's the quickest thing? How are we gonna get out of this situation? So it's like, what are they gonna do? It's like it's like Ocean's 11. Where do you go from here? You're kind of back up against the wall. Numbers are against you. What do you do? So that's kind of like what's going through my mind. At the same time, I'm just like, dude, just shoot everybody. Just break out his cuffs and just shoot everybody, because that's who you are. You're the John Wick of Star Wars.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Nice. Well, there we go.
I remember last episode, last episode we made the reference that Mando was kind of like Batman a little bit.
He is. On that episode, he's more than Batman. He's like freaking Jason and Michael Myers, because that was like horror in the sense of way he starts trapping people. It's just like, oh man, the tables were turned. It's exactly that scene from the latest Halloween movie that came out, and you see Michael's just looking for people, and then he's just like goes down to the cellar that's like underneath, and all of a sudden Jamie Lee Curtis just pops in the background like he does, and it's just like, oh well, that's the Mandalorian at this moment. We are in his game.
Yeah.
We thought that we were playing, we thought he was like on our playing board, but it turns out we were on his.
Right.
So that guy could be creepy when he wants to.
Yeah.
And
If he wants to, he could stalk a good person.
So the part that's like, so this part on this part of the show, this episode, we find out the client, he's going to take a call. I feel like this episode was filled with a lot of different, like, I guess, turn of events. There's a couple flops in this episode where, like, you're like, wow, I mean, I didn't see that coming. And like you said, that like what you said, talked about the tension building up, because that's exactly what happens. Like, once you find out that what the plan was and how it changed, all the entire like walk from the ship to the base is the tension building and like what's actually going to happen, what's going to go down there. Because I mean, really, we already know Mando's going to step into a place where he's outmatched, he's outgunned. You know, it's whatever, it's 5-30 or something, right? Then to come find it, then halfway through it, you know, like those bounty hunters are actually supposed to kill him, right? Changes the plan a little bit. And then they discover, then they have to devise a plan where, like, we have to pretend to take Baby Yoda into this place, right? And so everything hinges on whether or not, you know, the package is going to be delivered. They're supposed to like pretend to deliver the package, right? And that's what we expected. And like you said, the tension's building up because what is he going to do if once he delivers an empty package? What is he going to do? And then finally, we end up getting this crazy scene. Where
Moff Gideon arrives.
Yes, actually. Where Moff Gideon arrives. So actually, the client takes a call from Moff, right? And he asks, you know, like, hey, do you have the package? And he's like, yeah, he's right here. He says, the package is asleep in right now. Something like that, right?
He just has that weird creeper voice.
He does something like that. But then I thought this is probably my favorite scene in this episode, okay? Because he's like, yeah, the package is here. He's asleep. He's like, are you sure? Did you check the package? And he's like, well, you know, he's sleeping. And then instantly, all you just see is just like, I forget his name, the client, I don't know who he is, but you just see a hole go right through his chest. Like, I don't know if you watch that scene, you literally see the cannon blast, like, go right through his chest, boom, and then outside
what happened?
Out the back end of his chest. Oh my God, it was such a good scene.
Zach, you froze.
I'm not frozen. I'm still, I'm going right now. Anyway, so, but it was a cool scene. I really liked it. You know, it was like I said, it was a turn of events. It was like one of those things where you're like, you didn't see how Mando was going to get out of it, but now it's like, oh my God, something even crazier's happened. So, Luke, why don't you pick it up from there? Talk about that scene and how Moff shows up.
Basically, like, Moff Gideon arrives and the troopers, like, as soon as Moff Gideon arrives, I don't know, but Cooley actually takes Baby Yoda.
Quill.
Or is it Quill? Quill, my bad, Cooley. Quill basically takes Baby Yoda, and he's on the what is it called? He takes him on the blurp, and he's just riding as fast as he can. He's just like, get me the heck out of here, you know. And in the background, basically, you see, stormtroopers. They cut them off, you know. Okay,
so the two stormtroopers that we seen in the beginning, when we seen them show up to the base, the two stormtroopers actually hear Mando talking to Quill over the comms. So remember, you mentioned that they devised a plan to take Baby Yoda back to the Razor Crest, and they were going to
Razor Crest.
They were going to pretend to turn over Baby Yoda, right? And so. What ends up happening is two stormtroopers hear on the comms that Quill is on his way back to the ship with Baby Yoda. Obviously, they catch up to him.
Chuck,
why don't you talk about this part where the stormtroopers catch up with Quill? Why don't you kind of give us your take on?
Okay, so all right, so Quill's hauling rear end, and he's like, get the hell out of Dodge, and like. The donkey of the Star Wars franchise. Let's just say that's what they are. It's not the fastest animal, but it can be loyal sometimes. And you got Baby Yoda. He's going, take him back to Razor Crest. You know, because you got these protection protocols and all this stuff. Troopers are on his rear end, and one thing leads to another. Quill meets his fate and fails his job. Which was to take Baby Yoda back to the Razor Crest. Quill died for the first time in Star Wars history. The stormtroopers got their target, which I'm not even sure they did. I feel like it would have been an accident. I honestly feel like they were riding their speeder bikes, and the speeder bike like jumped over a rock, then
And he
misfired,
accidentally misfired.
and then they were just like, "Oh, we got him!" Oh, hey, high five! And so
For the
they
first
swoop
time.
in,
For
they
the first
pick up
time ever.
baby. Yeah, it's just a fluke. They pick up Baby Yoda to return him to
To Moff.
John
Moff.
Yeah,
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon, yeah, exactly.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon.
Which, it just sucks because that character Quill is the voice of reason, right? He's the guy that balances everything out. And,
I have spoken.
You like the character, and you see him get hit his demise. You feel for him because it's just like he was free, but he couldn't escape this war as much as he tried, and that just sucks. It feels like everybody that's still a part of this war will die in it, even though it's over.
Which is sort of the vibe that you get in the trilogy, the newest trilogy. You kind of get that where some people, because they question like, wait a second, are the rebels even like cool? Because they are also buying ships from the same supplier, So, side note. Did you know that the United States is the biggest exporter of firearms in the world? I'm just gonna put that out there. Anyways, so
what weapons? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about.
They're toys. They're just recreational fun.
Oh my God.
But no, but to go back to that though, it's like you're right. He was like the voice of reason, and when it happened, it was just like, oh no, like you're just like, no, like they got one of the good ones, and then on top of that, like the stormtrooper, like he speeds by and he just swoops up Baby Yoda all crazy. I was more concerned about Baby Yoda's like discs in his neck.
Watch his neck. Watch his neck.
It's just the pack. They literally treat him like a package. It's not even like he's not even a thing. He's just the package. Like they treat him like a dang package.
And dang football. It's just they're just going ham with him.
So they end up picking up Baby Yoda, and they're heading back to go take him back to Moff, I guess. But we end up getting a bit of like some dialogue between. Well, actually, it's a monologue. Moff shows up and he just gives them his speech about like you'll never be able to escape this one kind of thing, and which. For me, this episode ends, I think, on a really good spot. I really like the way this episode ends.
It's a tragic spot because you see Mando, he's like, Quill. Like, Quill. Are you there? And you hear on the comms, and then you just see that, and he's just like fried. You see like the dang, there's smoke coming off of his body. It's like, oh my God. It's like, it's just one of those episodes that's like, oh my God, what's happening next? I got to see the next episode, what's going to happen. And I kind of like that I feel like has you on its toe. It has you on your toes, You're like, oh, I need to see it. I need to see what's going to happen.
I feel like this episode would have been the season finale if they weren't so sure that they were going to get a second season. So, which is why, like, okay, let's film, let's just finish it. Because we might not got a second season, so we got to end it the way we got to end it. But how mad would you have been if that's it? You don't get it anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God, I would have been like,
gosh, dude.
I would have ended my subscription with Disney Plus. I'm just kidding.
What do you mean your subscription? You're on my account.
I was waiting for this guy to say something.
Hey Zach. Hey, could you end your subscription? Could you please end your subscription? I'm so mad.
I'm so mad.
I'm so bad.
Hey, so I mean, we pretty much finished up our review on this episode. Any highlights that you guys liked about this episode? Any callbacks? Anything interesting facts about this episode you guys want to share with us?
Oh man,
I like. Well, what creeps me out is what's on Cardigan's wall. He says, "Oh, I'm gonna save it for my wall. That's going up on my wall." Mando's helmet.
Yeah.
He's like, well, "What does he have on there? What creepy things is on his wall? That he brings, the ladies over, and he's just like, look at my wall. It made it great, and they're like,
My wall.
"What the heck's that, man? Am I going to be on your wall next?"
Oh
Yes,
my
maybe
gosh.
you are. So yeah, so I would think definitely like one of those like things. Of course, anything with Cara Dune's character, which you kind of want to see more of, and you want to see, that character's backstory. I wouldn't say that I want to see like a spin-off.
Right,
Maybe
right.
like an episode devoted to like that time where she was, what was a shock? What was
Oh,
she
yeah, drop
called?
A
trooper
shock trooper.
or
Drop
shock.
trooper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drop trooper. To see that, would be uh interesting. But yeah, then you got Giancarlo, who's just like really just dope in everything he does. Don't matter if it's on Breaking Bad, if it's on The Boys, he's just popping up all over the place, and man's gonna own Hollywood really soon if he doesn't already.
Hey, so are you watching The Boys right now? That's that's an awesome show right now.
Dude, I'm finally caught up, and I'm just like, I read the comics,
Oh
and
wow,
so
okay.
yeah. I read those, and those comics are way more darker, and I don't recommend. If you have a light heart and a light stomach, I don't recommend it. If you, you could take a joke, a dark joke. I say go for it.
Right.
But that first book I read was just so heartbreaking and devastating. I couldn't read anymore for a while, and I was like, okay, I gotta suck it up. I got to read this, this series, and read it through. And I was just like, that's pretty good. It's completely gross and uncalled for sometimes. Like the show is like a Disney Plus show compared to the comic book.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I know until I'm excited. I love that. For me, that show's awesome. I think there's a lot of like similarities to like, what's happening in the world to what's happening in that show today. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, the show, the writers really hit the nail on the head last season. If you haven't watched The Boys, watch The Boys. It's a good show. Basically about like weird superhero. It basically would be like I guess it brings
the Justice League were like bad dudes.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Or they were just human, really, because that's what it's like.
Yeah, really bad human.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Hey, so I did post I sent you guys a link to like a behind the scenes, like sort of like sneak peek theory video from YouTube. And they talked about some interesting thing. They pointed out like they talked about Boba Fett, right? They talked about incorporating Boba Fett's story. And one of the points that he made that I thought was interesting, he thinks that Mando is possibly headed back to Tatooine, discovers that Boba's there, and somehow Boba Fett is trying to get his armor back from Mando, and Mando trades him his armor for some information that sends him to Kamino, which is where Boba Fett was born, right? He was created.
He's created there,
right? And that's supposed to send Mando there because Mando's supposed to take Baby Yoda back to his kind, right? Which are Jedi. That's kind of what I'm gathering. I'm wondering, what are your guys' thoughts on that theory? What are you guys' thoughts on any of the new like content? Because this theory video, I'm trying to let me actually look at the title of the theory video for us real quick. It says, you guys know what we're talking about.
You see, you obviously see, you see Boba Fett's armor on the back of the in the trailer. You see his armor though, don't you? In the
right. So the video we're talking about is the Mandalorian new trailer, Easter eggs, and Boba Fett theory on New Rockstar's YouTube channel. That's what I'm talking about. That's the video that I'm talking about. That's in question here.
Well, maybe that's not Mando in Mando's suit. Maybe that's Boba Fett, and he has his suit just tucked away, on the speeder bike and all that jazz. Yeah, honestly, it could go either or. It's just kind of nuts trying to piece this together from like two like quick little scenes, and I was really distracted by Hamilton. but yeah, as far as like what's going to happen this season, I know the characters that are going to be involved. You have Ahsoka Tano, who's going to make an appearance.
Yes.
If I had to take a guess, probably not until the end. And then you have Boba Fett, which is going to be interesting. I would like to see what they're going to do. Is it going to be like a Western shootout between those two? Is this the end of Fett? Or is this a new beginning?
Or is it a partnership? That would be so sick. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you know.
That would be crazy. At the same time, I'm like, dude, Mando's what you should have been a long time ago, not
Yeah,
some
exactly.
turkey that just got swallowed up by a dang mole rat.
That's true.
He falls. It's the pathetic way of dying, supposedly, but he comes back.
So it's exciting. There's just so I mean, you got like Sasha Banks, the wrestler. She's going to be making. She made a cameo in the trailer, so don't know who she's going to be playing. But I'm really looking forward to Ahsoka Tano, even though it'll probably be like at the end. I think they got spot on with casting.
It's
What's her?
I'm trying to remember her name.
Gosh, Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
I think spot on. I think like age wise, seeing as like by this time, Ahsoka's like way into.
She's older
because she's a Clone Wars. She's a Clone Wars character. If you go back watch Clone Wars, like she's highly involved.
She is Anakin's Padawan. Actually, she's Anakin's Padawan in Clone Wars, but she actually denies. She basically skips out on the Jedi because she's like, I'm tired of Order. I'm tired of this. I'm going solo. She kind of like bounces. Before the Order 66, she dips.
Right.
Pretty much.
Have you guys watched Rebels?
Yes, I have. I've watched all of it. I love it. I love it. I love how the last ending season totally came together.
Yeah. I like the further it got into the series, the better it got.
Yes, because the first half are throwaway. The first 4 seasons are kind of throwaway episodes. There's a lot of throwaway episodes. And then you finally get to the meat and potatoes of Clone Wars, in the 4, 5, and 6. And then obviously you get into it. Go ahead, Chuck. Go for it.
I originally thought that Ezra was I thought he was going to be Emperor Snoke.
Oh wow!
It made sense to me. I was that makes sense. The way it ended, and what happened to him. Probably because he was dealing with a lot of corruption by the Sith and everything. So I was like, that would make perfect sense. And then it turns out he's just a clone, and that's just on a rack that's constantly going. It's just like, we need another Snoke. Let's get him out of the oven. Yeah. Okay,
another Snoke.
Oh my God, that's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, man, I think we talked about a lot tonight, guys. I think we got through a lot of stuff. This was a good episode. I mean, I'd put it up. I would say it's probably my third or fourth favorite episode now. I'd say fourth, okay, because it goes 1. No, for me it goes 6, 1, 4, and now 7. My top 4. What about you guys? What's your favorite episodes this season so far? Season 1.
God, that's so hard. I mean, obviously with the one where he comes the gunslinger when he comes blasting in, to get Yoda, Baby Yoda. That's my favorite. Number 2 would be number 1, episode 1, because it's just totally wet. It's when the door opens and you see Mando, like it's just like, oh my God, like it was cool. It's just amazement, excitement.
How about you, Chuck?
My second
favorite episode, season 1.
So I'm looking at the episodes because I can't remember like them by name, but number 1, I think for me is number 1, because you have that
amazement,
whole build, right?
Yep.
It's just like this whole thing. You're gonna get a package, and then what's the package? Baby Yoda. We don't even know the name of the damn species. It's just Baby Yoda. So and that's just the hook. It's just like, well, you flip the table. It's just like, what? Baby Yoda? What the hell, man? And so you're just going off. And so it has to be like, for me, that's the number 1.
So
number 2 would Sanctuary. yeah, I like Sanctuary because it's just kind of like, there's that idea of you could find peace here. But he
Right,
knows he
right.
can't because they're going to be always after this child. And then 3 and 4 is 6 and 7.
There you go. Nice. I'm just big Star Wars fan, so anything that adds to the universe and the lore for me is always going to be a plus.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Disney's going to take my money for a few years right now, as far as I can tell. And we're all still crossing our fingers and hoping that eventually this COVID thing will figure itself out, so we can go back to I was going to say Star Wars Land, but Galaxy's Edge. Okay, that's where we're.
No, that's what it is. It's Star Wars Land.
It's Star Wars Land, yeah.
I heard
definitely.
that Disney's going to be, I think on their Disney store, they're going to be selling some Galaxy Edge merch, legacy lightsabers and what have you, that, obviously they can't sell because of COVID. So just keep an eye on that. If you're you got an extra couple bucks and, you need that t-shirt or that figure or whatever, keep an eye on the DisneyShop.com and hopefully you could pick yourself something like a lightsaber or a t-shirt or a mug or whatever. Galaxy Edge is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited because Star Wars Squadrons is at GameStop.
That's right.
And so I kind of want to go pick that up because our GameStop just opened up recently. So they barely opened up. They're only allowing 2 or 3 people in at a time. But definitely, I may just go pick that up. I may pick that bad boy up, just to have it. It's Star Wars. Come on now.
I mean, that's gonna be a great game. I got to get a new system. I don't need a new system. I don't need a new system, but I have the Nintendo
Switch.
The Switch, yeah. So for me, I mean, it didn't come out for the Switch, so whatever. It's all good.
For the PS4 right now.
I'm going to get Lego Star Wars. That's what I need to get, Lego Star Wars. Hey, guys, you want to play some video games with me? Check me out on Switch. It's Zodizach, all right? Hit me up on Fortnite. I want to play some Fortnite. That's my game.
Do you have Animal Crossing?
I do have Animal Crossing. I've actually 30 hours logged. Oh, my gosh. I got to have you on, man. I gotta have you on. We gotta play. I'm trying to get this guy to buy Switch Lite so he can play with us, but he doesn't.
I'm gonna buy my PS5 soon, so
Oh
I mean, I gotta get that PS5.
Oh my Hey, Chuck, is there anything you want to plug before we sign off tonight? Give you opportunity to give some shout outs to anybody?
Sure. I mean, if anybody's so kind, they could check out my Instagrams, which is at RR Prime. So yeah, check me on the Instagram. Shout out to me fiance Brittany. I love to use, and shout out to Metalhead Mike and Bernard and Eric and all the dudes. And thank you for having me on. This is fun. Totally awesome. I dig it. I'm sold.
Awesome, man. Hey, we'll definitely get you back on, though.
Awesome.
We'll definitely have to get you back on for another Star Wars episode, and just keep going because it's a fun time. Luke, you want to share anything with the listeners before we sign off tonight?
Definitely. Obviously, hardcore Star Wars fan. Can't wait for the new season. Definitely waiting for that. And hopefully when COVID ends, they're going to come out with the new, obviously the new trilogy for Star Wars is coming out too. Hopefully. We'll see what happens,
Yeah,
we'll
man.
see. Definitely looking forward to that new trilogy that's supposed to be coming out very soon. But not only that, heads up, Beastmodesquats. If you haven't follow me, Instagram. Definitely get your workouts in, guys. Stay healthy.
Workout motivations.
Workout motivations. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay healthy during COVID.
That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, I just once again want to say thank you guys for listening. Thank you for doing all the good stuff, liking the show, following us, adding us on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook, like our page, guys, Average Fellas on Facebook. You can also check out our Instagram, Average Fellas Podcast on Instagram. And you want to leave a comment, you want to chat with me, leave me an email at averagefellas@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for listening, subscribing. Hey, once again, share this with your friends. Tell them to give us a like. It helps us rank up in the rating so we can get noticed. And thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. And peace out, guys. Another episode.
Pew, 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 pew.
Ooh. Yeah.